Good day, Olivarian. I'm Mr. Soren Matthew Alblardoni, and I am your facilitator for our first module. In this discussion, we are going to clarify the relationships and differences between social sciences and applied social sciences. Develop a comprehensive definition of social science and applied social sciences. We also have to cite differences among applied social sciences. And lastly, describe public perception of social sciences and applied social science practitioners. Let me ask you something. What do you think is the difference between social science and applied social science? I want you to think about a band-aid or an adhesive bandage. An adhesive bandage is clearly an example of what social science is. We all know that band-aid could heal a wound or help heal a wound. A band-aid could cover it to protect it from infection. But on the other hand, the knowledge about the band-aid will be nothing if you will not apply it on your skin. Same goes with social science. Social science is like the band-aid, and it will be nothing and it will be useless if you will not apply it. And that is the reason why we have applied social science. Social science is full of knowledge and ideas about how well or how we will be able to solve critical problems in the society. On the other hand, applied social sciences is very much practical, and it is the application of what we know in social science. So the next time you have a wound, always remember that it is like a social science. Or whenever you will see a band-aid, always remember that it is like the social science. It would be useless if you will not apply it. It will be useless if it will not solve critical problems in the society. In our subject HUMSS004, we will be introducing to you a particular discipline that will be useful all throughout our discussion, and that is etymology. Etymology is the study of the origin of the word. It is being flashed on your screen right now. It is important to understand the word first, simply because most of the time, the word itself explains the discipline it is representing. For example, sociology. Sociology is first quoted by Auguste Comte, who is known as the father of sociology, as the scientific study of society, from the Latin word socios meaning companion and logos meaning the study of. Sociology is one of the topics we're going to discuss for the next few minutes. It is now time to define what social science is, applying etymology. Let us define social science now. Social science is the vast field of scientific study that investigates human societies and the different forces within them. It examines how people interact with each other and at the same time provide diverse lens to understand and explain different facets of human society. Since it is vast or broad, it can still be divided into different disciplines. That is why on the next slide, we will show you the different branches of social sciences. These are the branches of social sciences. First one is economics. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word economics? If you are thinking about money, demand, supply, resources, you got it right. Economics is rooted etymologically from the Greek word which is directly translated to household management. Household pointing out to the area of production, distribution, and trade, as well as the consumption of goods and services by different agents. Economics is concerned with the management of scarce resources to be able to benefit the most number of people. It is one of the reasons why we keep on changing our quarantine guidelines in the Philippines, because lockdown will directly impact our economy. So this is a direct example of what economics is all about. Second on our list is anthropology. It is referred as the study of man. It is concerned with the present time as well as the past time, even the past civilization of man. Third on our list, we have political science. Political science, on the other hand, is connected to words such as power and influence. It is the academic study of politics which is concerned with decision-making and power relation between individuals. I know it is a critical part of our discussion simply because politics itself is complicated. Fourth on our list, we have demography. Demography is the study of population across time. If we account how many students we have in DPRO, IBED, and college, that is already a practice of demography, for we are concerned with population. Let's proceed with geography. It is the study of the interaction between people and their environment. Some of the concerns of geography are physical geography. Physical geography talks about the Earth, its season, atmosphere, landforms, and even oceans. On the other hand, we have the second one, which is called the human geography. Human geography is aligned to the distribution of people across the environment. Moving on, we have psychology. It is referred as the study of human behavior and mental processes. If you're going to ask me, can psychologists read mind? That is not true. Psychologists can't read mind, but with training, they can interpret behavior, for we believe that there is a reason behind every human action. Through the use of psychology, we can say that we are consciously choosing our actions, or we can also say that our actions are already predetermined by our past experiences. Speaking of the past, there is a particular branch for that, and that is called history. Why do you think it is important to study history? It is important to study the past to be able to replicate the good from it and totally abandon the nightmares from it, such as war, dictatorship, mass massacres, and other criminality. Last on our list, we have sociology. Sociology is the people's behavior in the group, or it studies the people's behavior within the group. Sociology tries to understand why people interact and functions in the society. As you can see, these branches are working together to build what social science is. Most of the time, we use these branches through mix and match. Talking about psychology, it is difficult without the use of other branches. Same way with other branches. Sometimes they draw knowledge from other branches as well. Too much of the branches word, what I'm trying to say here is that they cannot stand alone or will not be able to stand alone all the time. They need the help of each other to be able to produce a knowledge that will benefit all of us. So based on our discussion, what branch of social science are you interested the most? I hope that you would be able to find one. Based on your answers, there are some of the specific interests in various branches as we discussed. I hope that you were able to choose between the branches of social science that we tackled a while ago. So here are the specific for those branches. For economics, we have environmental economics. It studies the allocation of natural resources in the environment. Second on our list, we have labor economics. It studies the relationship between employees and employers. So it is important as a working individual to know about labor economics. Same goes with business economics. If you are a businessman in the making, you have to learn more about business economics. Last on our list for economics is monetary economics. More likely, these are related to people who are working in the financial institution, more so in a bank or insurance companies. For anthropology, we have cultural anthropology, physical anthropology, archaeology, and anthropological linguistics. Going back, I would like you to ask yourself, what do we mean by anthropology? Etymologically speaking, anthropo means human being and logos means the study of. So anthropology is the study of human being. With relation to that, we have here cultural anthropology. It studies the development of human cultures. Every one of us has a culture that we could be proud of. Physical anthropology studies human biological nature. Archaeology, on the other hand, studies human life in the past through the examination of artifacts. If you are interested to look for artifacts from the past civilization, you are more likely drawn to archaeology. Or we could say that if you keep on digging up your boyfriend's or girlfriend's mistake,
stop it. Get some help.
Congratulations, because you are an archaeologist in the making. Let's proceed with political science. These are other disciplines concerning political science. We have here domestic politics, which is focused on local politics. We also have comparative politics, which is more on international politics, for it is important to compare what is being applied in our country to other countries, because it will give us an idea on what are the most efficient way to solve particular political problems. Let's say, for example, the issue of COVID-19. Using comparative politics, we could adopt what is being used from other countries or in other countries. Using comparative politics, we can compare what being applied in our country to what is being applied from other countries. Speaking of other countries, we have here international relations. International relations studies political relationship among countries. Next on our list, we have public administration, which studies national and local governance and bureaucracy. Last on our list, we have public law, which examines legal system, civil rights, and criminal justice. A good political science student would agree that law is what will bind the society, because law are the rules that would direct us on what we should do and what we shouldn't do. Next branch of social science is demography. Demography only have one discipline on the list, and that is social demography. Social demography studies and analyzes demographic data to explain and foresee social phenomena. Social status, composition, and population distribution are also the concerns of social demography. Let us go on with psychology. Psychology is known as the scientific study of human behavior and mental processes. We have 5 different disciplines under psychology listed on our presentation. First on our list, we have experimental psychology. It studies behavior of humans and animals. If you're going to go to YouTube and search for experimental psychology, you would see there are several situations wherein they are trying to test how people would react to a particular stimuli. That is a clear depiction of how experimental psychology is being applied. Next, we have developmental psychology. Developmental psychology studies changes in behavior in each developmental stage. It is not just concerned about a particular stage such as adulthood. Some people would say that developmental psychology is concerned from womb to tomb. What do we mean by that? From the beginning of life until the end of life, developmental psychology could be applied. Going on, we have here personality psychology. Do you believe that you are unique? Do you believe that you are beautiful on your own way? Personality psychologists believe so too. They study the difference among people, the traits that we have that makes us special. Going on, we have environmental psychology. If we're going to understand the person, it is not enough to understand the person internally, but rather, we have to see the external factors affecting as well. And that is primarily the concern of environmental psychology. They study the effects of surrounding on a particular person. Your environment has something to do with who you are as a person. Last on our list is social psychology. Very much aligned to environmental psychology, social psychology is concerned as well on how other people affects you as a person. Your parents' attitude, your parents' behavior, your parents' characteristics and traits could somehow influence your traits as well. These connections are being studied in social psychology. Another branch of social science is geography. Geography is divided into two: physical geography and human geography. Physical geography studies natural features of the Earth, such as the landscape, such as oceans, such as countries, landmarks, and even territorial dispute. On the other hand, human geography studies how people create cultures. How scarce or how distributed are we in the environment, or in the field, or on the earth, is somehow affecting as well how we create culture. That is the reason why our culture in the Philippines is very unique from other countries. Geographically, we are different from each other. I hope everything is clear when it comes to geography. Shown on the slide are the interests or disciplines in history, which are political history, economic history, social history, environmental history, and biographies. Political history is concerned with the study of history of political institutions. Economic history studies the development of economic institutions. Social history, on the other hand, studies the history of the lives of the people, while environmental history studies the history of interaction of humans with their environment. Last on our list, we have biographies, which studies the history of great persons in the history or all throughout the timeline. I hope one day that you would be able to come up with your own biography, that you would be great in your own respective field. Last but not the least, we have sociology. Sociology will discuss applied sociology, urban sociology, cultural sociology, educational sociology, and medical sociology. What do we mean by applied sociology? Applied sociology focuses on the use and proper application of theories, methods, and skills to examine data, solve problems, and communicate to the public. Urban sociology studies social life and interaction in urban areas. Social sociology analyzes the development of social institutions, norms, and practices. Educational sociology studies the social forces affecting educational systems. So basically, what being applied in DPRO and other educational institutions are based on the knowledge produced by educational sociology. Same goes with hospitals and medical institutions. They base their practice to medical sociology, because medical sociology examines the social aspects of health and medicine of the people. Even though we discuss the branches of social science, you have to remember that it is not limited to those 8. There are other branches of social sciences, namely behavioral science, library science, and developmental studies. What is the focus of behavioral science? Behavioral science encompasses all the disciplines and explore the activities of and interactions among organisms in the natural world. As you can see here, library science is the interdisciplinary field that applies the practices, perspectives, and tools of management. Lastly, developmental studies is a multidisciplinary that focuses on the development, such as development project implementation, system of government, characteristic of society, and under development. These other branches of social science would explain that in a particular field, there are particular studies that we could draw knowledge from. To give highlight to our indigenous people, another branch of social science that you can dig on would be area studies. Area studies is a multi-interdisciplinary field of study which is concerned to geographical, national, federal, or cultural regions, encompassing both the social science and the humanities. In area studies, you can dig deeper on the ancestral areas in the countries. You can dig deeper to the culture, being shared by the indigenous people. That is the end of our discussion about the branches of social science, as well as the other branches not included on the first list. I hope that you would be able to find a particular study of interest so that you would be able to focus your work to those interests as well. We are now on the second part of our discussion, and the goal of this discussion is to define applied social science. What do we mean by applied social science? Applied social science focuses on the use and application of different concepts, theoretical models, and theories of social science disciplines to help understand society and the problems it faces. These are the career tracks for applied social sciences. A lot about the counselor itself. I hope that you will not be those people who are afraid to go to the counseling room. Thankfully, in our institution, counseling or the guidance office is different from the prefect office. Because some people are scared of the guidance office simply because it is being used as a way to discipline students. Counseling rooms or the guidance office should be a safe place for everyone, wherein you can open up and wherein you can say something about yourself and explore who you are as a person. I hope that we would be able to advocate on that discipline office or prefect office should be different from the guidance office itself. Because if so, if they are just the same, there will be a confusion in the field of education. There will be a confusion in the mind of our learners. And that might throw the idea or the negative idea about the counseling room. Social work is a practice-based profession that promotes social change, development, cohesion, and the empowerment of people and communities. Do you believe social work is important? Yes, it is important. Because sometimes, even though you are comfortable, it shouldn't stop you from reaching out to the people. It shouldn't stop you to talk to people who are influential enough and capable of changing the lives of those people who are in need. That is how social work functions. In terms of social work, we could say that social workers enhance their skills and ability to use their own resources and of the community to resolve social problems. Social work would be nothing if we are not being able to resolve problems in the society. Social workers serve as educators, case managers, facilitators, and agents of community change. They have a big heart to the society. Just a simple question, have you ever been part of any social work? I hope, class, that you would be able to participate in such causes. Because social work will open your eyes about the situation of the society. It will give you an idea firsthand of what is happening in the communities. And it will give you a perspective to fight for those people who are in need. Another discipline in applied social science is communication studies, which could be divided into two: mass media and entertainment. Mass media stresses the importance of balance, objective, truthful, and creative rendering of what actually happened. Equipped with concepts to understand the social, political, cultural, and economic realities. It allows people to attain skills to write, produce, and deliver news accurately and creatively to the public. On the other hand, entertainment is meant to entertain the people. It understands the needs and consumption patterns of viewing public, as emphasized through the application of knowledge and methodologies learned from social studies. Let us now proceed with the functions of applied social science. Applied social science generates knowledge in an organic way for evidence-based actions and solutions to social problems and issues. It causes social science to do things. It also generates practical solutions to complex social problems based on moral basis. Going on with the specifics, here are the functions of certain disciplines in applied social sciences. What is the function of counseling? Counseling provides healing, courage and strength to face issues and take up the best possible option in moments of life crisis. That is the mandate of guidance counselors, that they will be able to produce self-directed individuals. What is social work for? The function of social work is to promote social change, problem solving in human relationships, and their empowerment and liberation of people so that they will be able to enhance their holistic well-being. The function of communication studies is somehow unique. It provides accessibility to information and serves the rights of the public to be informed and to be heard by communities. As you can see, we could say that these three disciplines could work together. If we're going to use the media to promote counseling and social work, we will reach several number of people, and we would advance societal changes. Even though the intention of the applied social sciences disciplines are pure and legitimate, there are times that the public has a misconception about those. Here are the public perception about applied social sciences. The public develop a skeptical attitude toward the social science and the applied social science practitioners, largely due to their inability to provide formidable solution to social problems. Some people would say that they are just concepts, they are just theories and not really applicable to the society. That is their view about social science. But is it true? You have to ask yourself. Because I believe that social science and applied social science are really relevant to our society. The public perception changes depending on the issues and outcomes. And most of the time, our view about social science and applied social science is merely based on our personal biases. Here are the negative perceptions for the disciplines under the applied social sciences. For counseling, there is a fear of guidance counselors and the guidance office itself. Why is that? In some schools in the Philippines, the guidance office and the prefect of disciplines office are just the same. That is the reason why guidance counselors are treated as disciplinarians as well, which could draw a negative perception towards the students that they could always bring in their mind even up to adulthood. Social work, on the other hand, is viewed as distribution of goods, which is not true, because it is not limited to distribution of goods. Social work promotes changes in the society, and it is not always about giving. It could also be through the use of education and changing the law or speaking up for the people in the community. Communication studies was also or is also viewed as bias, and in certain moments confusing and therefore seen as unreliable. The question here is, are you going to change the perception of the public towards these disciplines in applied social sciences? I hope that you would work with us so that we would be able to change the society's perception towards these disciplines. We must be able to represent our profession well. As we end our discussion, we have to remember that these biases are subjective, or the biases that we discussed a while ago are subjective and cannot be seen as truth. These are the things we have to be aware of so that we will be able to keep the integrity of our profession, or should I say your future profession. In conclusion, we were able to discuss the difference between social science and applied social science. Remember the Band-Aid example? We were able to highlight the branches of social science. And of course, we talk about the disciplines under applied social science, namely counseling, social work, and communication studies. This wraps our discussion, and I hope you found interest in HUMSS004.
Happy learning at home with lessons made easy by Olivarian GoTeach. One proud Olivarian.